All right, welcome back to another episode of the Just Jacoby podcast. This week we're gonna do some NFL picks, some a little gambling for those people who are located outside of the New York area, which it is still not legal. But for some of you people going out of state, wherever New Jersey is the closest place. I believe it's legal to place sports bets. So we're gonna ride with that. We're gonna pretend that nobody does that over here. All right. So we'll start with our New York Jets opening up as plus 14 dogs against the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, that's about right. I if I were to take this game, I'm taking the Ravens minus 14. Absolutely. The Jets have been pretty anemic on offense. They put up 22 points last week against the Dolphins. They're not putting up 22 points against the Ravens. They held Ryan Fitzpatrick, ran all over them, 65 yards rushing. God knows what Lamar Jackson is going to do to that defense. Minus 14, Baltimore Ravens. That's a lock. A couple more 1 o'clock games. You got Tampa Bay at Detroit. I think this game's kind of a crapshoot. It's not something I would touch. Tampa Bay minus 4. That's the line. That's the line open. I think it's going to slide to minus 3.5. Listen, I like Tampa Bay. Jameis can score points. He's leading the league in I believe he's second in passing yards, touchdowns, and also interceptions. So I'd take Tampa Bay minus 4. I don't like Detroit doing much of anything in any game. Another 1 o'clock game, Philadelphia-Washington. Philadelphia minus 6. Absolutely. Washington stinks. Washington is absolutely pathetic. Minus 6, and they're predicting the line to slide down to minus 4.5. You take the Eagles. You take the Eagles on that one 100%. Washington's not putting up any points. They're not doing it. I understand the Eagles' defense isn't the strongest in the world. You got to remember, I think the Giants are a better team than the Redskins are. Not that that's saying much. And the Eagles still beat them by a touchdown in overtime. If this line slides to minus 4.5, I think the Eagles are a lock here. Chicago, Green Bay. I wouldn't touch this game. You got Green Bay at home. Green Bay minus 7. Sure. Okay. Chicago's got a pretty damn good defense, though. And Green Bay is short on weapons. They're short on weapons. They got Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers. Do with that what you will. I don't know. Green Bay minus 7 if I was going to take the game. I couldn't bet on Chicago. I don't think Chicago's very good. And Green Bay's at home. Green Bay doesn't do a lot of losing at home, but I don't know how much exactly they're going to win by. I don't know if 7 points is exactly the right margin. So New England, Cincinnati, minus 10.5. They predict the line sliding to minus 9.5. Hammer it. Hammer it. Hammer it. That's all. Hammer it. That's it. That's all I got to say. That is all I got to say about that. Houston, Tennessee. Now, Tennessee here is favored minus 1.5. This is an interesting game with Houston as the dog. I take Houston. You never know what team you're going to get from Houston. But Tennessee, you got Tannehill. You got Henry. Not much else going on. Not much else going on that side of the ball. Houston, you got weapons. Between Watson and Hopkins, they can score points. I see them beating Tennessee. I think if Houston were at home, they'd be the favorite. I think that's the only reason that Tennessee is the favorite in this game. That's it. So, a couple more 1 o'clock games. You got Seattle at Carolina. Seattle minus 4.5. That's supposed to slide to minus 6. I think you hammer that. There's no way they don't beat Carolina by more than a touchdown. Inconceivable to me. Denver, Kansas City. Kansas City minus 13. This one I don't know about. Denver's coming off a big win last week. Kansas City's coming off a big win last week at home. Kansas City's going to be at home. I don't know if I love minus 13. I think I'd like a smaller spread. They predict it sliding to minus 9.5. Now that I'd probably take, but where it lies at minus 13 right now, that's not for me. That's not for me. So I don't touch that game. Giants Fins. Giants are at home. Giants are the 3.5-point favorite. This is a game I could see the Dolphins taking. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Giants are. I think the Jets are just a hair better than the Giants, and the Dolphins were in a shootout with them last week. I see the Dolphins edging this one out. I think you have a good chance of winning some money betting on the Dolphins in this game, and I think you're going to see a lot of people doing just that. So, the night game, you got Buffalo against Pittsburgh. You got Pittsburgh favored -1. I don't like that. I don't like Devlin Hodges and Mike Tomlin's team going up against a really good Buffalo defense. I think the only reason that Pittsburgh's is favored at all is because they're at home. I think it's a no-brainer. I think you take that. I think you take Buffalo. I mean, this third-string quarterback. And now, if he wins this game this week against the Bills, this kid might be for real. But I don't see it happening. I think Buffalo goes into Pittsburgh and they sneak out a win. So, next game, 4:05, Jacksonville against Oakland, excuse me. Oakland's 4.5-point favorites. Don't touch that game. Don't go near it. Two crappy teams. Who knows? Cleveland, Arizona. Cleveland, 2.5-point favorites. Okay. Arizona's at home. Doesn't matter. They suck. Cleveland, 2.5-point favorites. Sounds good for me. I'll take Cleveland in that game. Atlanta, San Francisco. San Francisco's 11.5-point favorites. Predicting a slide to -11. San Fran's at home. I'll put my money with Jimmy G and ride out that he wins by 11. Sure. No problem there. Now, Rams versus Dallas. Another 4 o'clock game here. Dallas is at home, so Dallas is -4. This is really. I wouldn't touch this game. And people have lost a lot of money on Dallas all year. Dallas is favored in so many games this year that they have lost. The two teams with an even record, you can't. I don't know. I wouldn't touch this game. If I were to touch it, Dallas at home, I'd put my money on Dallas. But even -4, I think that's too wide of a spread. So I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't go near it. Minnesota versus the Chargers. Minnesota opens up at -3, predicted to slide to -2.5. Minnesota. Chargers are not playing great football. I think you take Minnesota even though they're not at home. No problem. They play in Minnesota. I don't think you're going to have any problem traveling to Los Angeles and playing that game. It's fine. It's a 4 o'clock game. They'll be fine. Monday night, Indianapolis versus New Orleans. Drew Brees and the Saints opening up at -9, and that spread is not predicted to slide. I like -9 for that. I'd take that. No problem. So, yeah. If I had to pick 3 locks of the week, I would take that New Orleans game. I would take that Buffalo against Pittsburgh, especially with them being the dogs. And Seattle, Carolina. Seattle -4.5 against that bad Carolina team. That's a lock. And if I was gonna pick a 4th lock, Philadelphia against Washington. I think Philadelphia, Washington. I think they slam that. I think they blow Washington out of their seats at home. I mean, there's just no way Washington wins that game. There's no way. And with the spread predicted to be -4.5 for the Eagles, I think you're pretty safe betting on that one. So that's it on this episode of the Just Jacoby podcast. We will see you next time with more sports news and updates. Thank you.